Well, giving the markets a big boost today, the hope of bringing the three-day government shutdown to an end. A final vote in the Senate is expected at any moment on a temporary spending bill that will keep the government funded until February 8th. Yeah, that's all. A bipartisan group wheeling and dealing to get us to this point, with Democrats agreeing to support the measure in return for consideration of legislation to help the so-called dreamers. The House will then vote after the Senate sometime this evening. We've got you covered from both sides of Capitol Hill. Joining us from the House, Congresswoman Martha McSally of Arizona. But first, let's go to Montana Senator Steve Daines. Steve Daines, great to see you. Thank you very much for coming in. It's clear that Senator Schumer and the other Democrats are trying to paint this as some kind of a win or draw, at any rate, saying that this bill was very different from the last bill. Is there any truth to that?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to talk about winners and losers, the losers were the American people. I mean, this was ridiculous. It was a pointless exercise to shut the government down. The losers were the American people, and I would argue the Schumer shutdown, it didn't work. I think Chuck Schumer lost as well.
By the way, it was Mick Mulvaney who coined that term, or at least came out with it first. It's really seemed to stick, didn't it?
Well, it's got some nice alliteration, but you know what? It's the truth. You know, sometimes there's an old saying in D.C., when in doubt, tell the truth. That's the truth. If you look at what really went on here, this was about DACA. This was about the extreme side of the Democratic Party holding the senators hostage to their demands. And we didn't give in. The issue needs to be resolved, but for heaven's sakes, don't shut the government down. I had a mother from Montana call me last night. Her son is in training in North Carolina to be a Green Beret. His pay was terminated. Right. He was in limbo. That is ridiculous. I think we would do that to the men and women who wear the uniform. So I'm glad we're going to get past that and get back to serious dialogue around solving the problems this country faces.
Well, if the Schumer shutdown was the headline, the substance was, as you mentioned, the fact that we would all be held hostage. The military folks, personnel would all be held hostage for the sake of illegal aliens. And it's not just the 600,000 or 700,000 so-called dreamers. It's the chain migration that allows so many of their relatives to come in as well. Whatever deal is finally fixed as part of this DACA thing, will it include an end to chain migration?
Well, it needs to be part of the discussion. There's 4 points. There's border security, there's DACA, there's chain migration, and then there's this visa lottery that's allowed terrorists in. So that needs to be addressed. It needs to be more comprehensive. But I'll tell you what, if you're from Montana, it's pretty tough to justify voting to shut the government down over, in Montana's case, 77 DACA recipients. That's right, 77.
Wow.
Versus 24,000 Montana kids on chip, 1,040,000 Montanans harmed by this shutdown. It was ridiculous, and that really was the core issue. I'm glad to see the American people see through that on this Schumer shutdown. We got it resolved here. Today we'll be voting this final vote in the Senate in the next hour or so.
Well, let's talk about that, because the fat lady hasn't sung quite yet.
Well,
you do have to do the official vote to end the shutdown. Is that a done deal? I mean, is there any doubt whatsoever that will pass?
Well, I'll tell you what, with the Democrats right now, I'm not sure anything's a done deal. They've got to get clearance here to basically yield the time back for that vote.
Senator, I'm going to yield some time to the Senate leader. I think he's still speaking, is he? Okay, he just stopped. I'm sorry. The one thing that I got to give Democrats credit for is that they did divert, on the anniversary of the president's first year in office, attention from some of his economic accomplishments, whether you're talking about deregulation or tax cuts. The focus, all of the headlines over the weekend were on the shutdown, right?
Well, it was, and I'll tell you what, they want to dampen and rain on the parade of what's going on with these tax cuts. You know, day after day, we're seeing these great announcements of bonuses, wages going up, benefits being increased, record levels on the Dow. This is all tremendous news that we're seeing. Apple bringing back jobs, repatriating dollars. This is really great news, and you got to believe what they were able to do there is divert attention from that. They don't want to hear about the good news going on right now in our economy, and the fact the American people are getting more dollars in their pocket via a tax cut and a wage increase.
But you do concede, then, that in fact they were successful at diverting attention from all the stuff about the first anniversary. And you know they're going to try to do that whenever they have the opportunity. Divert attention from what is happening in terms of legislation or the economy to focus specifically on Donald Trump.
Well, I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, pocketbook issues are the most important issues of the American people. They're seeing what's going on. They'll see through the smoke and mirrors that are coming out of Chuck Schumer and the Schumer shutdown. And there's a lot of good things to talk about. Record level Dow today, more money in the pockets of hardworking Americans. That's good news. Let's get back to doing the work of the American people. Shutting down the government is nonsense. That's first and second grade nonsense. We need adult supervision in the United States Senate. Let's move forward now, and I'm pretty confident we'll get that vote here the next hour, over to the House later tonight, on the President's desk this evening, and get the government opened up again.
This evening. All right, Senator Daines, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, here now is Republican Congresswoman Martha McSally from Arizona. She is also an Arizona Senate candidate and a retired U.S. Air Force colonel. What's your reaction to what happened today, and what do you think comes next?
Honestly, you can't make this up, Melissa. I mean, you've got now 3 days later, basically the exact same bill that was presented to the Democrats on Friday night, just a little bit of a shorter 8 days earlier. And in the meantime, we have been working in good faith on coming up with a DACA solution, but it's complicated, and we've got to make sure that we get to the root causes of why we have a DACA population in the first place, while securing our borders and addressing these other issues. And now they're trying to, basically, they flew into a box canyon. I was a pilot, which means you can't get out of it. They realize it was an epic political miscalculation, but it's not a game. Our American troops are the ones that are suffering. In Arizona alone, we had hundreds of people in the military that were civilians that were furloughed. We had combined arms National Guard exercises that were canceled, and they are playing around with this. And now they're on the floor now, spinning and bloviating, and the government's still closed. So stop talking and start voting.
We are looking at the floor right now, and senators there are voting.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. Let me ask you, because you said that they were looking for a solution on DACA, and the Republican line was that we were getting closer to that. We were talking about it, and we stopped talking as the government was shut down.
Right.
If it reopens, there is going to be, pressure to come up with something. What do you think is a good solution for those DACA children, now adults?
So I introduced a bill with a couple of my colleagues a few weeks ago. We've been working on this for over 4 months. And in good faith, we believe we came up with a solution that addresses the very real border security challenges, to include building the border wall, supporting our border agents with the technology, the manpower, and the resources that they need, while ending chain migration, closing loopholes with asylum seeking, fraudulent asylum seeking, and unaccompanied minors that the cartels are taking advantage of, addressing Kate's Law, sanctuary cities. This was what we believed is a good starting place. We've got over 75 co-sponsors in the House.
What's the solution for that group that's already here? I mean, that's what Democrats are focused on.
Look, we need to not repeat the mistakes of the past, and we need to be fair for those who came here legally. So we provide them the ability to have a legal status that is renewable every 3 years. They go to school, they work, they're contributing, they pass background checks. They are able to take existing paths to a green card, but not a special path to a green card that actually will incentivize future illegal activity if we don't address these other issues. So I think most people are willing to come up with a solution on this unique population, but we don't want to incentivize more illegal activity or reward it for the future and address the very real security issues in border communities like mine. So this is a fair bill to both DACA recipients and to those who came here legally and those who've been waiting in line.
Okay, so it's not amnesty, but it's also not sending them home.
Right. It's, again, we believe that we are coming to the table in good faith to provide a solution that we've taken some of the things the White House asked for, a little over half of what their 70 points were, and this is a consensus bill for us that also addresses why we have a DACA population in the first place. I think most people want to solve it, but they don't want to be here again in another 1 year or 5 years. So there has to be some sort of fairness to those who came here legally and not incentivizing or rewarding illegal activity.
Congresswoman McSally, thank you.